Hey guys, what's up? So, I literally did a thing for Virgo and my phone died, and I was like, oh, it's okay. Like, I did most of it anyways, and I was like just at the end, and so I had to go charge my phone, right? And I'm like, okay. So, I charged my phone, put it back on, and the video wasn't even there. And I'm like, how does that even happen? Like, it was weird to me. So I don't know if that has anything to do with related to your reading. Maybe it was like you didn't want to hear it yet. I don't know. Like maybe you weren't ready to hear it. What was it about? I'm trying to remember what it was that I was trying to... Because I was like, okay, I got to remember this part because that's where I ended. Alright, overall energy for Virgo, please. And these are blast, shuffled, cleared, all that. So that's all set. I'm trying to remember. Maybe during this it will... Damn, everybody's getting these cards. Maybe it will come. Well, there's some kind of completion. Some kind of creation. Something that you might have made an intention about, and it's now coming to fruition. Something could have happened during the fall time, around the autumnal equinox, that you had to release. Coming. Yes. Oh wait, no more. Hold on. I'll just take them all. Okay, I've been up since 1:30. It's now 5. I went to bed at like 9:30 though, 9 o'clock or something. So, I guess it kind of evens it out, right? Hold on one second. I have 3 more cards. 1, 2. 1 more. Hopefully it just gives me 1 more. See, like, I kind of, like, wish that I did this, all this, like, while, like, before I did the reading, so I could, like, look at it before I went through it. But then I always feel like people might think that I just made it up. I don't know. So I don't. At the end of the day, I don't. Okay. So there is something that you wanted to come together, that you wanted to create. You could have set an intention, did some kind of prayer, meditation, invocation, and this was something that you really, really wanted. You were waiting for spirit or somebody to give you some kind of message, answered prayer, you know, whatever. And so you set that out. You sat in stillness. You had the strength to wait for everything to come to light. And it was like brain fog. Like, you couldn't see anything behind a veil, you know. There was a lesson in the whole thing, and I think it was the karma of learning how to be vulnerable. Because you have it's not in the way it would be, make sense, so I'm just going to say. So, there was a karma of having to release whatever it was. Could have happened during the fall time. It doesn't have to. Some kind of releasing in general. In order for it to come together, it needed to be released pretty much. But the karma of it, in order to bring it back together and create, was learning how to be vulnerable. and sit in the stillness, wait, have the strength to be patient. And once you were able to grow that ability or learn how to be more vulnerable or have somebody, or maybe you were waiting for a communication from somebody else to be vulnerable. And after they were, or again, after you could have been, or you changed perspective because of them being vulnerable or because of whatever, maybe them being vulnerable, you had the perspective of you being able to be vulnerable, which created a rebirth in either you, the other person, the situation in general. That could have happened just recently around the spring equinox. There was some kind of rebirth from some kind of vulnerability that needed to happen in order to, like, even like invocation, like ceremony, like that also shows me like trust. So maybe you didn't trust this person or situation. Maybe they didn't trust you or the situation. So there was no openness, or maybe one of you were and the other one wasn't. So because of that, it wasn't coming together. But maybe when somebody else was and you were looking for that intention and it finally came behind the veil, like the veil came off and you had the strength to wait and everything. I just lost what I was saying. And that's when it was able to, the perspective was able to come into play and show the intention that you were trying to look for to come to the top in order to have a rebirth or a spiritual awakening or enlightenment or something like that. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, so karma could have also had to do with something with having to let go of the need to be right. Like, maybe that's what the perspective was. Maybe you were fighting kind of with the universe. Like, they were trying to show you something and you were kind of like arguing with them. Like, this isn't what I asked for. Like, this isn't what it's supposed to be. This isn't what, maybe you have good intuition and it's just not what you thought it was gonna be or something. There we go. That was the one that was on the thing too. So maybe that was something that you needed to let go with this person's situation. It could also have to do with not being able to be vulnerable because maybe you knew your fears and desires, but you couldn't label them, or maybe your desires were your fears, or you were scared of your desires. Some people are scared to be happy because it's like once they have that happiness, it's like if it leaves, if it, disappears and you get hurt, it's like, shouldn't have even let myself get happy. You know what I mean? So it's like being able to do that was able to unleash the wild within you. And you could have felt like you were alone this whole time and you were very defensive with the situation. But once you started meditating, maybe starting to getting more into spirituality, finding your gifts, you found out that you weren't alone and that you can always follow your own guidance, intuition, voice of your soul. Does that make sense? So it was like, is this reflect? I swear. No, it's not. So it was like, I don't want to get into all this. There's usually reasons why we do the things we do. Consciously, subconsciously, whatever. It's usually subconsciously, but we're not going to get into all that. We get defensive over certain things, and sometimes we don't even understand or realize it, or it's just like, oh, it's part of me, like, it is how it is. And it's like, okay, why are you this way? And it's like, oh, this such and such happened to me such and such long ago, and it's like, okay, so you're going to let that be part of your, like, behaviors? Is that what I'm trying to say? So it's like, yeah, inner child work. So I've fought in the past with somebody that I know that has a problem with admitting that they're wrong, which is whatever. It's fine. I used to fight with him all the time about it, and then I realized, people that have trauma and don't like to be wrong, even if they know they're wrong, they still they don't want to admit it, because they could have had something in their childhood happen where they were always told they were stupid, and so it's like, when they grew up, it was like, I'm not letting anybody talk to me like that, you know what I mean, and they belittled you, so it was like, yeah, like, nobody's gonna tell me I'm wrong. Do you know what I mean? Like, somebody was always telling you that you were wrong, like, or it was always your fault. It was always something that you were doing wrong, and those are core child beliefs as well that we grow up with. I was going somewhere with that again. Anyways, if this has something to do with another person or any kind of relationship, or you just putting in more than the other person or the other situation you feel like you're getting back from it, even the universe, whatever, it's like there's gonna be there needed to be balance and some aspects of your life in order to be able to have the vision and flow from the life lessons that you have learned in order to fight this battle and rise again from the ashes like a phoenix rising. Learn that you are a divine child of the universe, and that God takes, or whatever you believe in, divine, higher power, yourself, higher power, higher self. Once you can release, whatever it is, the weight off your shoulders, and give it to him, the burden, the battle is over. You don't have to anymore. You just learn that you're taken care of. You are a divine child of the universe. It helps you with your inner child, because if you ever felt like you were never loved, you were never seen, you were never cared for, nobody took care of you, when you can see that higher power takes care of you because they love you, it helps your inner child heal. You know what I mean? And you feel loved again. And, if you're into, like, nature, like a Mother Earth and stuff, I know that we just had a full moon last night in Scorpio, so that's kind of weird that I said that, because when I finally went outside and I saw the moon, I was like, amen, mother love, like, Mother Earth, whatever. But it's asking you now to look within yourself and find why you were battling. What was it that you were actually battling with? And that's a core belief. Again, it could have been the reason why you felt like you needed to be right. You'll know better than I will. Everybody's going to be different, but it was asking you to surrender you could have felt defeated. It was asking you to surrender the entire time to whatever. Oh, this isn't the cards I'm using, but I was shuffling them. This is Two of Cups, which is about love. Which I was just saying. So it's like asking you to, like, embody a goddess, god type energy. This has something to do with helping others, obviously, and being honest with yourself with the things that you need to forgive yourself for. See, I don't see this as really forgiving other people. Mostly it could be because if you do have to forgive somebody and you're harboring resentment still, then yeah, because it affects you. And it doesn't hurt that person whatsoever. It only affects you. But I feel like there needs to be honesty within yourself. Yeah, this came out again. You might have felt like you were alone for a while. You're not alone twice. So there's an indecision, or there was an indecision. There's a finale to all this. Like, there's a ending. Okay, completion. That's right. I forgot that was part of it. I don't feel like this was the same kind of reading. There has been some acceptance on your part, maybe from being honest with yourself about maybe what it is that you were fearing and what you were desiring that you were denying, and that was putting you into, love. I think you were not letting yourself be loved. You could have been denying somebody for coming into your life and felt lonely because of it, and it was like you were probably denying what it was you really wanted, and you felt like you couldn't have it, and you felt like you had to forgive yourself for like what it was you wanted. No. Oh, crap, I just had it. Feeling lonely, being in denial about the fact that you did want somebody, and feeling guilty for it, and you came to the acceptance. I think that's what it was, hopefully. And it was love. And that was able to give you more perseverance and resilience to knowing what it was you wanted, setting your mind on it, and going for it. And after the denial of it, friendship. After the denial of that, it was able to give you more peace. And maybe with these core beliefs, maybe with this healing, maybe with this more coming into alignment with who you are, what you learned about yourself, you realize that this person came into your life for a reason, and that the challenges that you were put through with them was the best way to learn, because we have life lessons too. And purpose is the last one. And they had something to do with your purpose. So being grateful for this is really a really huge thing, because it brought you to your purpose, right? It helped you bring you to your purpose and balance things out and understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. So it's like, if you felt hurt by them whatsoever for whatever happened, down the line, whatever surrender just came up, down the road, you could have realized why they were doing things that they were doing, why you were doing things you were doing, learning those triggers, learning those defense mechanisms, learning coping skills, like, you know what I mean? Just like why we do the things we do, maybe becoming more self-aware of our subconscious and how we act and our habits and our reactions and our behaviors in order to be able to rewire our mind. So, balance again. So we can maybe feel protected within ourselves. I don't really feel like that has something to do with it, but it came out. Focusing on once you were able to get balanced, it was easier to focus on the creation that you wanted to create. And through this time of darkness or whatever it was that you went through, you were able to learn how to set healthier boundaries and realize what it was you were here to do, like your will, or learning you have the free will, and that's why you set boundaries. Something about protection. The universe, learning that the universe really does protect you, has your back. There's been a lot of the release again. The masculine. Okay. I do not do love readings. Okay. I don't do them. I have my reasons. I just don't. In the beginnings was on the bottom. I just don't do them. So when the masculine comes up, I use it as an energy, because everything is energy. It's number 6. It's 42, but in numerology it would break down to 6, which in the regular tarot, number 6 is the lovers, which is the lovers. It can be a lover, or it can be a choice between two things, or gratitude. It doesn't have to be two things. Talking about the masculine energy might be what the grateful gratitude is talking about, that was helpful to bring you into the masculine energy. Again, this could be a decision with an actual masculine, feminine energy person thing, or it could just be with having to release too much of your masculine energy, and you were using too much of your you needed to connect more with your emotions and your feminine side and nourish that part of you, because that could have been why you felt so defeated, because that needed to be released, and how you had to feel your feelings out in order to not be ready for the unexpected, but to accept the unexpected without knowing it. Does that make sense? And be like, have feelings about it. Like maybe be excited or out of denial of wanting love. Like you could have been like, oh, I don't care about being alone for the rest of my life. I'll be a bachelor or a gold digger. No, I'm just kidding. And I don't need anybody. And then it was like, once you accepted and forgave yourself for the fact that you weren't even letting yourself have love, be loved, loving other people, being happy, it was like, oh, okay, maybe. So it had to get you more out of that masculine energy where there was no feelings, so it was able to mask what it was that you actually desired. Does that make sense? It was like a realization in like a dark time that you were going through. All right, let's do some messages from the universe to end this off. We have that. I find a deeper meaning in personal growth amid the discomfort. Yeah, so it makes sense. I don't know if this was, I can't remember. I wish I remember. True healing. Yep. Here. See, ready? True healing occurs when I give myself permission to feel whatever feelings live below the triggers. Perfect. Not saying it's fun or perfect like that, but obstacles or detours in the right direction. I really, really, really wish I knew what the other one was about. I feel like it was something that you weren't letting happen. I don't know. One more. It's funny, when I was shuffling them, this came up. Well, when I separated them. And do whatever it takes to get closer to consciousness, which love, God, again, higher power, whatever you believe in, higher force, and self-awareness, pretty much. Mainly love. That's pretty much what I look at it. When I think of consciousness, the most I think of love. I know what it is, but I still look at it in a big way of love. I look at it Christ consciousness. I am not religious. I will say that straight up. I'm not religious. I think religion is a cult, and I'm sorry if I offend anybody, but if you think about it, God, life is not limitless, and anything is possible. And when you're giving something that's supposed to be promoting a being that's unconditional love, and you're promoting it out of fear, that's limiting. That's telling you that you're not loved. Like, not even your creator loves you enough to give you what you want unless you fear him. No, like, if he could walk on water and turn water into wine and all that, which I don't believe in the Bible either, but I believe the stories as life lessons, like a life lesson book, self-help book kind of thing, to guide you into, whatever. What the heck was I saying? Pretty much at the end of the day, like, if you're going to be told that you can't do this and you can't do that, and there's rules, and like, you have to fear the person that created you rather than know that you're loved, like, kind of shit is that? I'm sorry. But all right, Virgo, I hope this helped in some way. I will see you for your next reading, or join me for collective reading. Okay. All right. Have a good one, guys. I love you. Bye.